People always ask me, can I have the same impact on a small or medium-sized business that I do with a larger one? And the answer is yes. The leadership principles remain the same. I can think of one particular bank, for example, who needed to grow in assets from 650 million to $1 billion, and it was a pleasure to help them do that. So yes, absolutely. So I've held leadership positions around the world. First for the country of Switzerland in diplomatic service, and later on in the United States with Fortune 500 companies and healthcare and academia industries. So I have a leadership background. On top of that, my formal training is the kind of training that very few coaches in the world have. And it allows me to get underneath what we think the problems are, to find the source and to lift that out so that you have liftoff. An example of how I made a difference in a bigger company? Well, in thinking about Google, for example, I was called to help a particular team. There was a manager in charge of a great area of marketing, and they just weren't doing well. So they had me come in, work with the manager himself and with the entire team to elevate their performance. It was a joy to do that, and Google was frankly very happy. So what does this entail? I look forward to working with you for at least a year. Why is that? Because you didn't get this way overnight, and there's a lot of vista to cover, a lot to discover together. But once you make the discovery, you need to know what to do with it. So together we're going to strategize, and we're going to get traction so that you get to where you want to go. Can you really fix this? If you're ready and you're willing, you can fix this. It takes commitment, it takes vulnerability, it takes, I'm ready, show me the door, let's go. And the rest, I will do with you. How long have I been in business? Well, I've been developing leaders and teams for more than 25 years. I decided to do it full-time, however, in 2009. So since then, it's been my privilege to support great Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies, privately held businesses, and family-held businesses as well. So who do I work with? Who are my clients? It's been a privilege for me to work with many great companies, small, medium, and large. For example, Google, Microsoft, Harvard. Those are some very large and significant names. Just as significant, however, are some of the smaller companies that I work with, and the leadership principles remain the same. For example, Correlation, a fintech software for credit unions across the nation. It's a complete joy for me to be able to work with them and other private companies. So a lot of times I get asked the question by a CEO, do other CEOs run into this? Tell me it's not just me. And it's not. For example, you may be in the weeds. You're in good company, just in the wrong place. Or you may have trouble with your executive team. Again, that happens a lot. Human beings are everywhere. And so whether or not you're a small company or a larger one, the issues remain the same. Even if you're a very accomplished CEO, there's room to grow and room to improve so you can get out there and get in front of the change curve. People ask me, how does this work? Where do we start? Well, first, there's a period of discovery. We have to sit down and talk about what the issues are that you're facing. Secondly, as we dive underneath, we're going to come up with a strategic plan. Just like you have a strategic plan for your company, so do you need one for yourself. And so once we have that, we're going to start working it, and I'll be your thought partner along the way to keep making those tweaks and those shifts so that you actually step into the larger version of yourself that you were meant to be. I'm often asked, how do we measure success? Or can we measure success? In fact, we can. Once we identify the behaviors and the actions that you need to take as CEO, we can also place success markers there to tell us if you're getting there. And I have ways to help you do that. So absolutely we can measure success. Very often we'll see growth in revenue, in profitability, in productivity of your employees, trust, elevated culture. Those are just some of the things that you're going to be able to look forward to. How do you know if working with me is right for you? Well, first of all, we're going to sit down and have a conversation to see if we align, to see if we're right for each other. Secondly, I want you to remember that I've been where you are. I've been in those difficult situations. I'm your thought partner. Together, we're going to develop different conversations and see things from a different vantage point so that no matter how sensitive the situation is, how very touchy, vulnerable, or tough the situation is, we will get through it together. Why work with me? First of all, you need to become more of who you were destined to be in order to meet bigger goals. Most coach consultants will not work on that. You'll get a fancy plan, they'll say work hard, and somehow it just doesn't come together. But we need to pay attention to the inside of you as well. What's in there that needs to be lifted up? What more needs to be developed? Could be confronting difficult conversations or something else. But whatever it is, I'm going to work with your inner leader for outer results. And that's the missing piece that you find a lot of other places. What kind of results should you expect? Expect to become more of who you were destined to be. For example, you can certainly expect different business results. You can expect things like more productivity, greater profit, bottom line revenue, and so forth. A lot of other things, depending on what we want to work on. But the difference is that you should also expect to transform as a leader. You should expect to work with more ease, less stress, have things in front of you and see a higher vantage point. It really should be transformational for you, not just the business. People often ask, what kinds of long-term results can I see? And I can tell you that the kind of change that I work with is transformational, which means once you make that change, you're at a higher vantage point. You're not going to slide back. You've become a deeper, bigger version of yourself. So there are long-term results such as much more confidence, greater decision making, greater action taking, better execution, a whole host of things, leading and developing team, depending on what you choose to work with. In fact, it is so transformational that a lot of companies choose to work with me for multiple years because once you see a different vantage point, you wonder what else there is. Could be the mountaintop. What kind of CEO do I work with? I work with the CEO who is heart-led, value-centered, and people-centric. But moreover, that CEO is committed to growth and knows that you have to marry people to business results. How do you do that and do so successfully? That's the kind of CEO that I work with.